clear that Missouri is in the midst of a very historic and dangerous flooding event.
And right now, Missouri dealing with historic flooding. At least 14 people already dead, hundreds of homes underwater, 16 counties impacted from Branson all the way up to St. Louis. Officials saying this is the worst flood since 1993 at this point. Communities around St. Louis are under mandatory evacuation orders right now because even though the rain has stopped, the water is still rising. The Now's Todd Walker is live just west of St. Louis along the Merrimack River, which is expected to keep rising all night. Todd, what are you seeing?
Yeah, Krista, the Merrimack has flooded before, but never this bad. It's already at record levels and is going to keep rising throughout much of the night. Just a mile downriver from us is the town of Valley Park, and in a few hours, it may be part of the river itself.
If history is any guide,
I said I'd never put myself through this again.
Valley Park, Missouri will soon be underwater.
Here we are, putting through it again.
Tim Carew has learned from history, which appears doomed to repeat itself again.
In 1982, it came up to about the foot from the ceiling.
When the first threat of flooding presented itself earlier this week, history said it was time to go.
I'd rather regret moving everything out and then having to move it back in because it didn't flood.
They got a U-Haul and the whole family started moving out. The town's levee, finished in 2007, is supposed to hold up to 42.5 feet. At 10 o'clock in the morning, the Merrimack River was already pushing the top of it and was set to go to at least 43 feet.
If it breaks anywhere, it's going to fill quick.
Today, the whole town was put under a mandatory evacuation order. Residents had until noon to get out, or they were on their own. Once people got past the police roadblocks, there was no coming back in. Not until after the river crests and the waters recede. History has shown that flooding on the Merrimack River is nothing to mess with.
Hopefully the water, it wouldn't ever get up that high. But
if the Carew's house goes underwater again,
so I'm going to leave this and this picture just to see if it does get up that high.
This could be the last time they evacuate.
They're talking about a pretty wet spring coming up. So, I mean, who knows if this does hold, if it doesn't do it again.
They've learned from history. It tends to repeat itself.
Now, the town of Valley Park is on a hill, so there's an upper and a lower section. The lower section is what is covered by that mandatory evacuation order. There are about 900 people who live there. We're live in St. Louis. I'm Todd Walker for the Now KC.
It's such a tough thing, Todd. I know you said they've been evacuated, but do we know when they can expect to come back yet?
Well, the Merrimack River is supposed to crest sometime between midnight and 1 a.m., and then it's going to stay like that for several hours. It's not clear when the waters will start coming down. It will be likely sometime tomorrow, and then not sure when it will be safe for people to go back into the town after that.
And a lot of stuff left behind with debris. Thank you so much for reporting for us. Good job on that. Our local